time.
Welcome to Songs in the House. This is a little thing we've been doing. It's based on Stars in the House. Seth Rudetsky and James Wesley have been doing it with real Broadway stars during the quarantine, and we thought it would be a good idea to do it with some local talent in the Lewisboro community. This is our fourth one.
Yes.
And we're also doing some donations.
Yes, we are raising money for White Plains Hospital, frontline workers that are working with COVID-19 patients. So any amount that you can donate is really helpful and will help them get supplies, equipment that they need, help feed the nurses and doctors that are working so hard. So we thank them. Also, we have as a regular on our show, our very own Bruce Sachs, doctor, medical, musical theater expert. So let's
bring him on.
Let's bring on Bruce.
Should be coming.
Let's see.
Oh, that's the doorbell.
There he is.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right.
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. We're kind of glad that we did our thing, and now I can get to sit back and relax and watch all this great talent coming up.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You guys were great. It was a great show the other night.
We're wondering what's the deal with the Feinsteins?
Yeah. We may have to do a show.
We may have to do a Feinstein family.
I'm
series
sorry.
as well.
That's got to happen.
We will work. We will have to work on that. For sure.
I'm going to devote this show to an effort to try not to annoy and hurt any of my family members or other people, that are watching, because I managed to put my foot in my mouth pretty much every time I do one of these. But
But everyone knows that it all comes from the right place.
I managed to call my family, or at least half my family, inept the last time. But it was actually coming.
So not inept that they actually were able to get on and see it. So.
Well, I mean, literally, if you saw my wife scrambling to get my parents onto the computer, as the show had already begun the last time, it was. It's very interesting. My mom is clicking the mouse and saying, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Well, Mom, you're holding it upside down. Flip it around, and it'll start clicking again. So
hopefully they got it and they saw it and enjoyed it.
They did. They're not watching now, so I can say whatever I want.
Oh, oh my goodness, that's funny.
Well, they're gonna certainly be missing out because our first guest is extremely talented, my friend Jack Lanza. Let's bring him on.
Let's bring on Jack. There he is.
How you guys doing?
Jack!
Hi, Bruce.
What's happening, buddy?
Not much, man. Just hanging out.
No,
you guys.
No jobs to go work at this time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's terrible.
Just hanging out. Just shows to watch on the History Channel.
Ah, okay.
Getting into those, man. Crazy, actually.
Cool. What are some cool ones you've been watching?
I started The Curse of Oak Island, which is, I can't even explain it. It's basically like National Treasure, but like the real thing. And it's about like all these crazy historical and religious texts like buried beneath this like Canadian island.
Wow.
And it's just about like this team, for hundreds of years, these people were like, trying to get to the bottom of this, and they're finally like cracking it. And it's really, really interesting. And so, yeah, it's awesome. I've been kind of hooked on that. So
that sounds cool. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. And there's a couple of other wild ones, but there are a lot of cool ones.
And you've also been writing songs, right?
Yes, I have been.
Cool.
It's an interesting time to be an artist, a little bit. I mean, yeah.
And so you're gonna perform one for us.
I do. I have two.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So go at it.
All right.
What do you got?
So this is one that I wrote pretty recently, actually, and this is kind of in the midst of when all of this was kind of coming out and breaking out. So here we go. Got nothing to say. Every single way. I need change. There's something in the way. Oh my Lord, I'm not where I wanna be. Get it at last, rest in peace, your sympathy. All has had crashes, mine so constant. So there's that one.
Pretty nice.
That's great.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Appreciate it.
You sound great. I'm gonna
you.
just tilt your camera a drop.
A
So we
little
can
bit.
see a
Yeah,
little
we're losing half your face when you're singing.
Yeah.
There we
There
go.
it
That's better. Yes.
We're good? All right,
We
awesome.
can see you a little bit
So
better.
did you write that song recently, or is that something you wrote a long time ago?
I wrote this recently. I was in Chicago actually, like way before. It was actually like the week where everything just kind of hit the fan. And I was actually in Chicago, and it was a crazy time because we didn't really know how we were gonna get home, and we actually ended up driving home like straight 13 hours. But it was a crazy time because all this stuff was coming out, and it was very strange being in Chicago, not being at home, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of wrote the song about like just like not really in specific about anything, just kind of the general emotion that I was feeling, kind of like stressed and a little bit down, but also a little bit like confused, as a lot of people are during this time, you know.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's bring on our next guest.
Yeah.
The very talented Eliza Heaton is joining us. So let's get Eliza on here.
Hey,
Hi, Eliza.
Eliza,
Hi,
hello.
everybody.
how are you?
I'm
Hey,
good,
Eliza.
guys.
Pretty good, hanging in there.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
This is fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
So what have you been up to? So this is your senior year, cut
Yeah.
short. So what has that been like?
It's been pretty sad. It's my last week. I would have been doing an internship at Richfield Academy, so that kind of stinks. But instead, I'll be working, because we still have to do a kind of senior project thing after this week. So I'll be working with my singing teacher to see how she uses musical therapy and how she does her singing lessons over FaceTime and stuff. So that should be pretty cool.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is she out there going to give her a shout out? Is she watching you right now?
I hope so. Her name is Amy Rude Miller. I hope she's here. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. I did send her the link, so.
Just give her a shout out. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. So let's hear your first song.
All right. So my first song is Before It's Over from Dogfight, one of my favorite shows. An awkward girl with her guitar, keeping to herself. Friday nights alone, with the records on her shelf. A waitress pouring ginger ale and Coke. Someone you ask out as a joke. I've been that girl who fades away, sexing what I've got, stuck in what I am, and everything I'm not. I've only seen this tiny world I'm in, where I can only be what I've been. See a world, beautiful and strange, spinning off somewhere, saying meet me there. Look, look how fast it runs away, singing follow close and reach for me. See that you've got so much more to be. before it's over, before it's over. I can't go write another song. I'm too afraid to play or dream how things could change, but only see what's in my way. I can't go back to what I was before, now that I can see so much more. See a world beautiful and strange on a one-way track, and it won't come back. Look how fast it runs away, singing follow close and reach for me. See that you've got so much more to be before it's over. I never even knew a world was waiting. Somehow something awful made that world appear. Maybe this sounds crazy, but I'm happy that it happened. Happy that I came. Happy that I'm here. I can see a world beautiful and strange. Can you see it too? It's so close, don't let it get away. There's so much to do before it's over.
That was beautiful. Oh my gosh.
That was gorgeous.
Fantastic.
That was gorgeous.
That was amazing.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
So
So-
good.
So Bruce, do you know that show?
You know, I just know that a lot of people sing that and some other songs. That's the Dear Evan Hansen crew, right? That's
Yes.
Ben Pasek and yeah, beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful music.
What a fantastic song.
Oh, it's so much fun. I decided to sing it also for college stuff. So if they wanted me to like send in a singing supplement, that was like my go-to song.
What about the college stuff? What's happening so far?
It's going well so far. Going to Duke next year. I'm very excited. I'm a little nervous about the state of the world right now and how it's going to look. But I've been like trying to reach out to people who will be going next year. As soon as Karina comes home, my big sister, who is actually down there right now, she decided to stay down there because she has an apartment off campus. So she's staying there until her finals are over, and then I'll be like trying to pick her brain as much as I can about what life is like down there, and I'm so excited.
That's great.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
That's
much.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, I just want to remind people, as you're enjoying this wonderful entertainment, to please, take a minute, go on my YouTube channel. If you look at the About section, you'll see the link to White Plains Hospital. And any amount you can give really helps these workers that are working so hard. They're heroes. They really are. So any amount you can give. And please note when you're giving Songs in the House in the memo section. And we appreciate anything you can do. So thank you for that. And let's get back to Jack. Jack, you have another song for us. You want to tell me? This is another
one more
song, another original?
Huh? Another original?
Is this another original
Yes,
song?
this is an original.
Tell us about it.
So this is like, it's called The Hole That I Have Dug, and it's kind of, it relates a lot to like what's going on now, even though I wrote it probably about like 7 months ago. And it's just kind of just this emotional anthem to me, to myself, that I ended up writing, and just very like, it just made me feel a lot. So I figured I'd share. Baby, I'm so down, 'cause you don't come around. no dinner out. Sucks to be a kid like me. Got no calls, got no mail. Seems that everybody's built in this hole that I have dug. Chasing a ball that isn't there. I'm like a child, not grown up. I feel more like a clown. Why should I be found? There's no one else around. This is strange. Seems so and never sound. All the girls they turn me down. It's easier to stay at home. I love to chat, stay around, but I have to get back down to this hole that I have dug. In the end, I'm just a boy, taught to learn and play with toys. Never be half of a man. Tell me I should take a stance, find a way to make the best of this hole that I have dug. Yeah, this hole that I have dug.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
That was so good.
Thank
All
you.
right.
About-
I
it's
just wanted
best to-
to unmute everybody and then get it all back, but that was so good. That was so good.
Thank you.
I heard something about it's best to stay at home there. I mean, that.
So this is a song I wrote a while ago, but I actually changed up the lyrics because the vibe was there, but I wanted to kind of bring the lyrics to this situation, and so it kind of like formed. But
That was,
yeah.
that was a good idea. So what are your plans after the quarantine is over? You're writing music. I know you were going to be writing more music with your brother and
Right. Well, I was in Chicago, and Chicago was great. But we had to leave to get back here because the situation was just so up in the air. My plan is to go back there as soon as possible. But like I said, everything's just kind of like in shambles. So I'm hoping to get back out there as soon as I can. My brother Alex is here with me, which is great. He's my bandmate, my drummer. And our other bandmate Elijah is out in Chicago. He lives there. And so, yeah, we're looking to get back out there. But yeah. But it's great. It's great to be here. It's just like it's a weird time,
Yeah, it's
great
great.
for everybody.
So a little game we like to play sometimes, we like to play a favorites game where we ask our guests some of their favorite musical theater tidbits. So our first question today is going to be your favorite Broadway show. Now that's tough. So if it has to be a top 3, that's okay too. Jack?
I'd have to go with Spring Awakening
okay.
I knew you were going to say that.
because it is just, I think that the first time I think I was 15 when I did it. It just blew me away. Like the message of it and like the I and the songwriting was just like totally just like blew my mind when I being in the show. It was a very like inspiring thing for me to be a part of that, especially in one of like the first like youth groups doing it, because it's such a controversial show.
Oh, absolutely. Bruce,
Yeah.
what do you think of that show? What do you think of Spring Awakening?
I got to be honest with you. I must take the fifth again. I don't know the show very well. I don't know that I've ever even seen it all the way through, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on my list of stuff I want to see, but I don't know it.
It's dark. It's definitely it's dark, but it's very good.
Okay.
I think we failed, Debbie. We didn't get a mention for we didn't get a Sweeney Todd in there. I don't know, Jack. Is
Yeah.
that like
I was gonna say it was between Spring Awakening and Sweeney Todd.
maybe number 3, 2 or 3?
Hey, in the Heights. How about it in the Heights?
Oh my God, that's another one. There's a lot of them. There's a
Gosh.
lot of
All right,
them.
Eliza, what
Eliza?
about you?
I would have to say Next to Normal. It is so good.
It
It's
is
been my
one of my
favorite for a
favorites, too.
while. It's so good. It's so unique, and I mean Natalie, the like the girl in it, since it's like a 6-person cast or something like that, is like a dream role of mine. It's just so beautiful, and the story is so crazy. Like you wouldn't expect it to be what it is. Like, oh my gosh, I always watch, like, shame on me, but I always watch bootlegs of it on YouTube. But I mean, it's worth it because it hasn't been on Broadway for years. But
Yeah,
hopefully
Well,
it's a revival.
It hasn't been on Broadway, but Ben,
we just recently saw it in DC with Rachel Bay Jones.
Oh my god.
So that was pretty amazing.
It
That
was
was my
incredible.
first time seeing it. She had already
I
seen
had
it.
seen it, but
But
it's
yeah,
incredible.
it's
Bruce, you
an-
like it too, right?
I really liked it. I saw it on Broadway also with Alice Ripley, and then I saw Jagged Little Pill, which is sort of like Next to Normal 2. You know, I don't know if you ever saw that. If you ever saw Jagged Little Pill,
I haven't.
but it's Jagged Little Pill is like talk about hard rock. I mean, that's like Alanis Morissette. I didn't know Alanis Morissette's music all that well, but I did not expect to be like literally blown out, broken, you know, in terms of the
Music?
volume. But Jagged Little Pill was really well done. It's not necessarily my cup of tea because it's so hard rock that I'm just like, whoa, you know. But very, very similar,
Like
very
that.
similar.
Sort of like
Undertones
out,
there.
really out there.
Interesting.
All right, the next question.
And then the last question we're going to do is your favorite role that you've done.
All right, yeah,
My
yeah.
favorite part is this one.
Sweeney Todd, easily.
Okay.
At least we got a little shout out.
I mean, just like talk about a crazy role. It's one of those roles where you have to like you get into like the depths of it, and you're kind of like, where am I right now? It's kind of crazy. You're doing the show, and I'm like, what's kind of going? You get lost in it, and then you're like, it's bizarre. I mean, Sweeney Todd, it was one of those shows where it really like the music specifically really spoke to me. Really, just the way that Sondheim was able to write, even just the lyrics, just like the melody itself was just mind blowing, and just the complexity of the song writing is iconic.
You worked your little butt off for that show.
Yeah,
You did
that was
fabulous
a lot
job
of fun.
there.
That was
It
awesome.
was great.
And Bruce, I know that's one of your favorite shows, Sweeney.
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay. So
Number 2 of
Eliza,
all time.
Eliza, how about you?
one of your best favorite roles that you've done.
Oh my gosh. So the first thing that came to mind was one thing my godmother always says to me, because she's been to all my shows, and her favorite role that I've ever played, and probably is definitely my second favorite, is Coney Bear.
Wow. Oh, a shout out to
Shout out to 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Oh my gosh.
Well, it was so different for you. I mean, talk about
Exactly.
a role that's like
That was wild.
so different than what you think you'd be cast as,
It was so crazy, and it was honestly one of the first times I've ever done, because I only really got into theater starting in middle school. So it was like a character piece. It was just crazy. But my favorite all-time character I played is definitely Kate Monster in Avenue Q. That was
Classic.
so
That's
much
a
fun.
great role, yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
What
I saw that
about
off Broadway.
what about favorite musicals?
Oh my gosh, In the Heights. Like overall, that whole experience, and like the way that it all came together, like the set, like how we like those dances. Oh my gosh, I still watch the little like video that we have of it, and I still try to remember if I remember like 96,000 and all that. Oh my gosh, I keep getting like flashbacks on my Snapchat of like years ago or stuff like that, or like 3 years ago, just like behind the scenes, like dressing room pictures of everybody together when we would all get ready together. It was just,
That was a special one.
It came together really well.
That was definitely a special one.
That was
I know for me.
that was my
I
first
know
show with
you would
you,
agree.
right?
Wow. Yeah. By the way, guys, in just about 33 minutes, you know where you're all going to be, right? Do you know?
Sondheim's 90th
You're going to
birthday.
be on Broadway.com on your computers, and you're going to be watching the Sondheim 90th birthday celebration.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, everybody on the planet who's ever been in a Sondheim show is. Lynn is going to be on it. I mean, but
Like
he
that-
hasn't been. Well, he has been in the Sondheim show. He was
He
actually.
beat at the 80th birthday.
Lynn was in encores of Merrily We Roll Along on Broadway. No, nobody knew that. He played Charlie. I saw it, but yeah, Bernadette Peters, Mandy Patinkin, everybody's doing this. So
It's
like,
a big, yeah, it's a big.
don't Chip Zion, the original Baker, you know.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
Yeah, so it's basically just and tons more people I can't even remember, but it's going to be a huge thing. You got to check it out.
Absolutely. So so Eliza, speaking of favorites, I think you have a song. Your next song is from one of your favorites.
Yes. So this song is So Anyway from Next to Normal. I chose this song because this is like a big senior song for me. It's all about the character kind of saying goodbye to the life that she used to live and trying to move forward. And just like me, I'm trying to move forward to college, however sad it may be. And yeah, it's always held a special place in my heart, as does the show. But yeah, here we go. So anyway, I'm leaving. I thought you'd like to know. You're faithful come what may. But clearly I can't stay. We'd both go mad that way. So here I go. And anyway, I'm leaving. I guess that you can't see. I'll try this on my own, a life I've never known. I'll face the dread alone. But I'll be free. With you always beside me, to catch me when I fall. I'd never get to know the feel of solid ground at all. With you always believing that we can still come through. It makes me feel the fool to know that it's not true. What doctors call dysfunction, we try to call romance. And true, it's quite a trick to tell the dancers from the dance. But rather than let chance take me, I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance on leaving. It's that or stay and die. I loved you once, and though you love me still, I know it's time for me to fly. I loved you once, and though you love me still, I know it's time for me to go. So
Wow. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Wow,
Oh, I love that song. It's so beautiful.
that was beautiful, gorgeous.
You've
Thank you.
done a lot of good things with that upper register there, Miss Eliza. Really nice, really nice.
Thank
It's such
you.
a beautiful song.
It is. It's so beautiful.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Your voice sounds great. Wow.
you.
That was what a treat today.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both great, but this is really great. Again, I just want to, give a shout out to White Plains Hospital. Please, take a moment, say thank you to our heroes. Bruce, you have any parting insight words?
Well, the only thing I'm getting a lot of these days is now everybody wants to get blood testing for COVID, right? Where can I get the antibody test? I want to test my whole family. I want to make sure everybody has it or doesn't have it. I want to know, you know what? Stay home. Don't get an antibody test unless you think you had COVID, you were sick with, an illness, then you just never got tested and you think you may have had it. B, you want to donate, to a blood bank, and that you can actually do through the New York Blood Bank. I think it's newyorkbloodcenter.org. That's a wonderful thing to do. They do the testing and they, determine whether you have antibodies and can donate plasma to help other people with the disease. But as far as just, I just figure I want to know, the test is, there are so many different tests out there, number one, and a lot of them are, fly-by-night tests where the quick finger stick kind of things. They can be a lot of false negatives, which means that, you are negative, but you had the disease or have the disease, and there's a lot of false positives because all of these antibodies tests react with other things, like you can do a Lyme test and it can come positive because you had mono 3 weeks earlier. And the same thing with COVID tests, it does sometimes cross-react with other viral infections. So even if you think you were positive and had it already, we don't know how long immunity lasts. We don't know what to do with you if you were positive, whether we should send you out back into the community and, say, oh, I can't get it anymore. It doesn't seem to be the case. I think you can probably get it again. We don't know completely, all of that information yet, but the bottom line is don't be reassured by getting an antibody test and saying, oh, I had it, I'm fine. I can go run around and, go to bars and restaurants.
Still don't know.
I think it's really for people who, who really feel like they may have had it and had an illness that they think may have been COVID. And even if you get that, it's like, what do you do with that information? You still don't know that you can get it again. You may, and you have to take precautions, and everybody just has to keep following the plan, social distancing, the whole thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Great.
That's my medical tidbit of the day.
Great. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Really wonderful
Awesome.
to have you.
Fantastic.
You guys, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ben, tell us what's coming up
All right,
next.
so our next show on Thursday, we'll have Joey Cicelli and Nate Greenspan. So
Whoa.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm
tune
excited.
into that one.
Should be a fun
That's
one.
bound to be good.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Guys,
Thank
have a
you.
great day, y'all.
Nice to see you
Thank
all.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.